Alright guys, all I have to say before starting this movie review for Yu-Gi-Oh! The Dark Side of Dimensions is wow. And that pretty much sums up how I personally feel about this movie. Wow. Because let me tell you guys something. This movie blew Yu-Gi-Oh! The Movie 1, aka Pyramid of Light, out of the water, okay? But let's be honest, Pyramid of Light didn't have that much of a leg to stand on anyway. So, the movie starts off with Kaiba sort of looking at a restored Millennium puzzle in his lab in one of Kaiba Corp's outer space stations. And then we basically got to Domino City, where Yugi, Joey, Taya, Tristan, Bakura, and everybody else really is getting ready for school. And I gotta tell you, this is the only line that Yugi's grandpa has in this movie, but he's like, "Yugi, where's Taya? I haven't seen her in a while. Didn't you guys used to like to hold hands and walk to school?" And then Yugi's like, "Grandpa, that's for little kids." And then we see Joey almost get rear-ended by somebody, and then he runs into this store owner and gets hit with a bucket of water. So just real classic Joey comedy here. And then everybody meets up at school, and it's the week of or right after final exams. So everybody pretty much meets up on the roof to basically talk about what they're gonna do once school's over. And Taya is still gonna go up to New York and fulfill her desire to study dance and become a ballerina. Joey still wants to do the whole big shot duelist thing, although we find out a few minutes later in the movie that right now he works at an ice cream stand selling ice cream dressed up as a dog. And that's another thing real quick I want to point out about this movie. You don't really have to be an old school Yu-Gi-Oh fan to be able to understand this all the way, but it really helps if you do, because there are Easter eggs and references throughout the whole movie of the original series. So anyway, like I said, Taya wants to still do dance. Joey still wants to become a big-time duelist. Tristan's worried that he'll have to work in a factory with his dad. And Yugi, he wants to become a game designer, almost like Pegasus. And what they all agree to do is, eventually, once Yugi's game is big, they'll all meet up sometime again and play it. But then we shift to Kaiba real quick for a minute, and he is basically doing this hologram of the Pharaoh, which Kaiba was able to develop through this new thing that attaches to his newest version of the dual disc, which basically makes anything that your memory can think of come alive. And through this, he's finally able to beat the Pharaoh, although even after all his team congratulates him and all, he said that's not good enough. I want the real deal. So then Mokuba tells him that they've actually found the resting place of the Millennium Puzzle. And then Kaiba's like, good, I will have my revenge on the Pharaoh. And that's one other thing I want to say about this. This is Kaiba's moment to shine in this movie, okay? Because what this movie does really well is it sort of acknowledges the fact that Kaiba, and still even Yugi to an extent, is having a hard time dealing with the fact that Atem's gone, he's not coming back. So, then we meet the, sort of villain of the movie, Agami, aka Diva. And, for some reason, they all remember him being in school all year, but for whatever reason, they can't remember why. So, Agami eventually figures out that Kaiba holds the, has found the burial place of the Millennium items. And, what we learn is, his, Prana Cube, or as they call it for a moment, the 8th Millennium item, in the hands of somebody good, it has the power to create an entire utopia. But in the hands of somebody with evil intentions, it will take you to another dimension, where basically all your memories are destroyed, therefore the person fades away. And, so Agami and Kaiba meet up at the resting place of the Millennium items, and Kaiba says, "You're not gonna stop me from resurrecting the Pharaoh." So Agami challenges Kaiba to a duel. Now, in the movie, Agami duels with something called dimension dueling, and that's basically where you can summon any monster you want, and you get to choose their attack and defense points. But if you take damage, it actually comes out of your own life force as well. So, and Agami reveals that he's not the amateur duelist that Yugi and everybody else thinks he is. He's actually a very skilled duelist, and for the duration of the duel, it goes back and forth between him and Kaiba, but then Agami basically mocks Kaiba, saying, "You're about to lose," and then Kaiba's like, "No, I won't lose, not after everything I went through to try and resurrect the Pharaoh." And then he manages to summon Obelisk the Tormentor, and then by the time all that's done, the rest of Kaiba's team has pretty much secured all of the Millennium puzzle, but then Agami almost gets on top of Mokuba and is able to steal at least one piece of the puzzle. Although we find out later that Agami's sister, Sarah, is actually not too happy with the way Agami's going to try and keep the Pharaoh from returning. So she gives one piece of the puzzle back to Yugi to keep Agami or Kaiba from being able to complete the puzzle. And the whole reason Agami wants to keep the Pharaoh from returning is, like I said, if the Pharaoh were to return, the Planum would go away. But the whole reason Agami sort of has this grudge against the Pharaoh, and Kaiba sort of, even though it's getting in his way, but the real grudge he has against is Bakura, or more rather, the spirit of the Millennium Ring, because the Millennium Ring actually killed Agami's and Sarah's old teacher, who you guys aren't going to believe who it is. It's actually Shadi, the guardian of the 7 Millennium items. So basically one day, when Agami and Sarah and all Shadi's other students were kids, Bakor's dad actually found the Millennium Ring and became overpowered with greed to possess it. But then the darkness of the Millennium Ring overtook Bakor's dad, and when Bakor picked it up, the evil Bakor immediately got into Bakor's soul and unfortunately dispatched Shadi to the great beyond. So that's that's Agami's whole reason for trying to create the utopia, where there'll never be a reason for true fear, and to avenge Master Shadi, or as he calls him in the movie, Master Shin. Now, the whole climax of the movie is Yugi, Kaiba, and Agami meet up at this sort of like the Kaiba Dome, where Kaiba is holding a tournament to release the newest version of the Dual Disc, and he basically forces Yugi to come and duel because he believes that if Yugi is able to put the pieces of the puzzle back together, Tim will be able to return to the living world one more time so Kaiba can duel him. But Yugi ends up beating Agami in their duel, and then Yugi and Kaiba face off in one last epic showdown, to where Yugi finally tries to convince Kaiba that Atem's not coming back, like his spirit is gone. And then, even once Kaiba realizes this, Agami comes back courtesy of the power of the Millennium Ring. And then this is where things get real hot. Because in this 2-hour and 10-minute movie, the creator was able to do something that the Pharaoh and Yugi could never get Kaiba to do in the 5 seasons of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yugi and Kaiba actually team up in a tag duel and take out Agami one more time together. And that's basically the end of the movie there. Although, one more thing I'll say about the movie is, this finally almost lets Kaiba have his moment to shine, and it forces him to sort of acknowledge that the Pharaoh was important, like that whole thing did exist. So guys, overall, I have to say, Yu-Gi-Oh! The Dark Side of Dimensions is most definitely worth checking out. So, again, I just want to say thank you to the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! Teragashi, for deciding to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the manga the right way. And guys, once you go see this, I can guarantee you will not be disappointed. So, oh, and by the way, the movie ends with Kaiba sort of digitizing himself back in the ancient Egypt, and it ends with him and the Atem finally getting to have their duel. So I hope you guys enjoyed and keep on rocking. Yeah.